Welcome everybody to Entrepreneleaders webinar number 2 of the year 2023. We're incredibly excited to have you guys join us today. We have some incredible people with us today, and it's going to be so much fun. You guys are going to hear their stories and how we met and so much more. And for those joining us for the first time on this webinar, if you don't know, this webinar is called Entrepreneleaders webinar because it's part of our school called Entrepreneleaders School, and you guys can check it out here in the far left corner. And Entrepreneleaders School is an entrepreneurship and leadership school for the youth in Africa, age anywhere between 16 years old and 25 years old. And we empower them to start a business in their community and to build their community by identifying a problem and coming up with a solution. And today we got with us some incredible international entrepreneurs that are startuppers. And I met them a few months back. Crazy story. I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys joining us. And as you listen, feel free to comment in the commenting section. Feel free to ask questions. You can just write down your questions at any moment. And if you really want to get in touch with any of them, you're more than happy to leave your email in the comment section, and we'll make sure you get in touch with them, or just pop us an email at askus@entrepreneleaders.co.za. Once again, ask us, ask us at entrepreneleaders.co.za, and then we'll get in touch with you and put you guys in touch with two amazing entrepreneurs. And here they are. Let's see them. We have with us today Normund and Skipper. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Aaron. Yeah, thank you so much for hosting us. It's has been quite some time before seeing you again, but it's lovely to see at least you in a screen.
It's been a while. Good to see you, buddy. And how are you doing, Skipper?
Yes, very good. The sun is shining, and I'm here with an open window. So yeah, overall very good.
Let me ask you, what's the temperature right now on your side? Because I think it's getting cold in Cape Town. Everybody's freezing. Winter is coming.
Let me check.
That's a Game of Thrones phrase, by the way. Winter.
It's 16 degrees.
60.
Yeah, 16.
No,
16 degrees.
No, you got it Celsius.
Yeah, we also have Celsius, but that's very cold. That's
Yeah.
what we had yesterday, and everybody was freezing.
No, here it's relatively okay.
Yes, it's a
At
spring.
least it's not raining.
So Norman, you are wearing a T-shirt on 16 degrees.
No, I'm not outside, so it's plus 24, probably 22 in my room.
All right, so that makes sense. Tell me, what is the coldest temperature you ever get to in winter?
I would say when I was 8 or 9 years old, sometimes we had minus 15 or minus 13.
Oh my goodness,
Something like that.
That sounds like heaven to me. I would love.
Yeah, you like cold weather, right?
Yeah,
I would exchange the heat that we have every single day here. I would exchange that for a bit of a minus 15 degrees. But guys, as I mentioned, this is on the left side in the triangle room over there. That's Skipper, and with the chalk, the board, black T-shirt, that is Norman. And they're both from different countries, so we want to get to know them first. And so, can you guys tell me where you from, and just tell me more about you?
Skip, I will give you a green light.
You can give me the word. Yeah, my name is Skipper. I am born and raised in Amsterdam. For the first 5-6 years of my life, I lived in Amsterdam at the Waterloopplein. It's in the center. And when my sister got born, my parents decided to move outside of Amsterdam to a house in Broek in Waterland. It's a small town close to the city. So it's about 15 minutes with the bus. And I grew up here with my sister. I had an amazing youth, I would say. I played a lot of soccer outside. My parents decided to move here because you are free to run. Pretty normal. My parents decided to start up their own company, so I learned a lot from that in my younger years, and still I'm learning a lot from that. And my sister is finishing her high school now, and I'm in the second year of Team Academy in Amsterdam.
That's fantastic. Glad to hear that. And speaking of soccer, which one is your favorite team? Please be
Of
careful with
course,
your answer.
of course, it's Ajax. Of course, it's Ajax.
Ajax.
Cannot.
Ajax. I don't have a problem with Ajax as long as it's neither Barcelona.
Mm-hmm. Sorry? Hello?
I think there are some disturbances.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
Sorry, just a bit of
Is
a
everything fine?
disturbance there. I'm gonna ask the editing team, to edit it out. I had a neighbor coming to knock on the door. Crazy stuff.
No worries.
But I was asking you about your favorite team, and you said Ajax. And when it comes to the Champions League and watching the Champions League, which one is your number one team? Please don't say Barcelona.
I like Barcelona, but it's not. It wouldn't be. It would be my favorite team. If we're talking about the Champions League right now, I would love AC Milan to win. I think they have an amazing team. Yesterday they lost, unfortunately, 0-2 against Inter Milan. But when they have Leao back next week, I think they will win. And I support AC Milan now in the Champions League. But I don't really like Real Madrid. That's
why you're gonna lose, because we are Real Madrid. The whole of Africa is Real Madrid, and anybody in Africa who's not Real Madrid is not African. We are Real Madrid in every single way. And Norman, tell us more about you, buddy. Where are you from? What's your story?
Yeah, I cannot talk too much about football because I'm from Latvia and our national sport is ice hockey. I can say that. So I was born in a very remote place, decent distance from capital, countryside. I have 4 siblings and 1 sister, so quite a big family. And always from childhood, all the values have been working hard and just being like honest, good person. That's something my father a lot tried to teach us, and therefore we engage a lot in work projects, businesses already from young age. I came here to Netherlands after quite some route of trying some businesses in Latvia. Also have been living in Nigeria for 1 year. Have served in the military and have a marine background as well. So now I'm also together with Skipper. We are 2nd year students in the academy, and we are very excited to be here with you and share what we have, our experiences.
That's amazing. I can't wait to hear the story of how the two of you met. But I just need to say, I met Skipper and Norman in the context of we have an exchange program between our school and the Amsterdam student at Team Academy University of Applied Science. And so we do an exchange. They came in November, December? Late November they came, and we had a great exchange of just between their student and our students at Entrepeleaders School. And I remember everybody's feedback about Norman was the fact that he's a machine and he works incredibly hard. And I thought the biggest machine I've ever seen is my wife. But after when my wife met you, Norman, and then you guys started working together, she's like, this guy's a machine. I want to work with him. He just gets things done. And so when you talk about one of your values being hard work, I believe that because we got to experience it working with you. And that's always great, man. Great. And good to have you guys both. Before I tell anyone about the business that you guys have started, we're going to come to that. But since you came to South Africa, and a lot of the guys listening to us right now are South Africans, let me ask you this question. What was your experience of South Africa? Tell us one of the favorite things you love about South Africa. And one of the not so great things, the worst thing about South Africa, and anybody, no one is gonna get offended. You know, we're not gonna get offended. You know, we're gonna take it as honest feedback in every way, the good and the bad. Okay, so guys, go.
Skip, you can roll. Your mic is off.
Oops. Yeah, I would say overall the experience was amazing. Like 35 days there, it was a life-changing event for me. And what I liked the most was the people, the people you met in bars or on the street or wherever. Yeah, the kindness and yeah, also the waiters and the service is really, really good, and the kindness is just up there. Sometimes in Amsterdam or when you're in whatever a city in Europe, you notice that yeah, people can just be yeah, angry or whatever. They cannot have their day and they are really mean. And I really South Africa. Maybe it's because of the weather, but everyone is really chill. And yeah, I couldn't really think of any bad things. But what I didn't really like was the difference between poor people and rich people. I think the difference is way, way too big. And yeah, some people deserve more chances.
I'm actually very glad that you're mentioning that, because the truth of the matter is one of the reasons why we're talking about entrepreneurship and how the story of how you guys started is because we want to, and that's one of the goals that we have at our school. We want to give more opportunities to people, to pretty much anyone, to bridge that gap. And what entrepreneurship does, it gives you the opportunity to own your destiny. You have it within your hands. How much you earn is within your hands, and how much hard work you put in. And so I'm really glad that you're mentioning that, because that's one of the things we want to make sure we don't see in the next 100 years. And I won't be alive anymore, but at least we can get started today. And what about you, Norman? Tell us, Mr. Military guy.
I fell in love in the nature from first sight, definitely. And yeah, it was amazing. We did a lot of hiking, and it's so much different than flat Europe, I would say, the parts where I have been the most. And yeah, also the greatest experience. People are just lively, in the moment, and singing, dancing. It's more expressive. That's really, really I like. However, also the not the worst, but one of the experiences I had was I don't know. I would just call it white racism. That also people coming from Europe, being white, then they are seen as rich instantly. And yeah, I'm coming from Latvia, where people are, yeah, they grind as well. And yeah, there was just one incident with a gentleman from Zimbabwe. But yeah, that was just a small thing. Yeah, so but that's also interesting that every society, have their extremes. So, but in general, amazing experience.
It's crazy. Everybody believes a lot of you, and I don't think it's just in Africa. I think, unfortunately, and that's just that I find it unfortunate, because anywhere outside of Europe where a Caucasian person goes to, you go to India, people would assume that you're rich. You go to Asia and you're Caucasian, everybody would assume that you're rich. You come to Africa, everybody would assume that you're rich, but that's not a reality. And that's part of the reason why we do this exchange program, to enable the stereotype that we have about one another to fall down. And yeah, Skipper, you wanted to jump in as well.
Yeah, and don't forget that it's also the other way around, right? I also make prejudges. If I see a group of, for example, Chinese people walking around, I think, oh, there might be, yeah, really rich Chinese people that they can afford a holiday to the Netherlands or to another part of the world. So yeah, it's not that black and white, literally.
Yeah.
Say, but yeah, definitely. And what I always think, you never have to make prejudgments, because everyone has a story to tell. Just some people have a heavier backpack than others. So yeah, I would say it like that.
That's true. These stereotypes apply to all different cultures and races, and we're hoping that when we get to have these kind of conversations and we get to exchange knowledge and information, we get to break down some of these stereotypes and bring a bit of clarity into them. So this is a question that this is a question that I'm curious about. So briefly, with the time that we got, can you guys tell us, how did you two meet? What's the story here? You from Latvia, and you from the Netherlands. I get that you guys both studying, you guys are more passionate about entrepreneurship, but you guys are so different. Normund is very structured, and Skipper is a free spirit. How do two people so opposite meet and get along?
Yeah, so I might give a little bit of background also. I think very important that you mentioned that we want to share the idea that opportunity is self-made, and we are the owners of our destiny. And yeah, I also can tell, I'm coming from Latvia. A lot of people have this box mindset. Oh yeah, I'm from Eastern Europe. I can't do stuff. I don't speak English well. And then they just stay in their village for the rest of their life. But I said at one point that no, I want to change something. I want to discover the world. And I had the opportunity to be hot-headed and go to Nigeria. And after living there for 1 year, it went pretty bad, went bankrupt. So no money. So I came back and decided to move to one of the richest European countries.
So sorry. Let me interrupt you there for a second. When you say bankrupt, are you saying you started a business in Latvia and went bankrupt?
Yeah, so I had two businesses in Latvia. I had a catering business, which I did together with my sister. We had a full-size bus, which we turned into a fast food catering bus, and delivered the food in the festivals and like racing events and so. And also I had a construction company, which was not enough profitable to continue running it. Yeah, and just continuing after living in Nigeria, I decided to go and pick one of the I think the best countries in Europe to live in. And also I found a great education, understood that information and knowledge was so important in my growth, because I was age of 25. I thought I know a lot, but the world showed me that there's a lot to learn. Therefore, I joined the Team Academy, and yeah, I met Skipper, and he was one hell of a boy, hyped about everything.
Yeah, so we met on Team Academy. Team Academy is an entrepreneurial school in the west of Amsterdam. And yeah, at first I couldn't really get a hang of Normund, who is this crazy guy. He already had a full beard and he was 26. And yeah, after some time we went to Romania together, to Bucharest. And that's when Normund first started talking about his idea. And maybe Normund could explain what the idea came from, how he came to that idea. But yeah, when he told me that, I immediately decided to upfront him about it and talk to him about it and say like, hey, I love this idea, I want to join you in what way ever, and I'm good in sales, so maybe we can form a team. And Normund, after thinking some time, he said, let's do it.
That's great. And guys, the reason why I'm asking this question is because a lot of people starting businesses ask, how do I find the right partner? How do I, and one thing that you guys have in common, number one, is the fact that in the case of, for example, Normund, he wanted to expose himself to a lot more than what he knew as the norm. So there was a desire to grow and mature beyond his normal and beyond his comfort zone. And so he left Latvia, traveled all the way to Nigeria, left Nigeria, went into Amsterdam where he hadn't lived. And what's more important is that you guys met up at a place where your interests were put together. And so Team Academy is an entrepreneurship school, and both of you were passionate about entrepreneurship, and you met up in the right context. And a lot of people listening to us right now are saying, I want to start a business, I want to find a partner, where do I find one? You want to find a partner? Go to places where the people you want to partner up with go to. That's simple. They partner up together because they met at an entrepreneurial university where they both wanted to become entrepreneurs. And so if you're looking for a partner, maybe one of the best ways to start is say, usually when you become an entrepreneur, not everybody around you is an entrepreneur. In fact, a lot of people don't understand why you want to become an entrepreneur. And so it's not in that ecosystem that you'll find a partner. You won't find him among the people that you typically hang out with. You have to create a new ecosystem of individuals that you hang out with. And whoever you can build, I always talk about chemistry, character, commitment, and chemistry, character, competence, the 3 C's. You know what? Once you leave your environment and you join an environment of people that are like-minded, guess what? You look for someone you have chemistry with, somebody who has character, and somebody who has competence. And then you guys start working together. It's a lot easier to find that person in an environment of like-minded than in your typical normal environment. And I think that's what they did really well. And I think all of us can learn from that journey. And which leads me to this question. So you both started this amazing concept. And it's crazy because when you guys came to South Africa, I hope we can show pictures of the kids and the videos. You guys were wearing this white T-shirt with a G in the middle, and it said Giftees. So you guys are the founder of this amazing startup idea called, not just idea, concept, and that's working already in Amsterdam, called Giftees. So I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm going to let you guys tell us what is Giftees and why did you start Giftees in the first place?
Yeah, so as I already mentioned, maybe Normund could explain his journey, and it all had to do also with this trip to Nigeria. So please go ahead, Normund.
Yeah. So while I was living in Nigeria, I was in a relationship with my also current girlfriend, my beloved one. And I found it really hard to express love and remind that I'm still there. However, we had 8,000 kilometers between us. And I found a very playful way how I can buy some small gift through my friend in some local shops around my girlfriend, and just buy them. And every time to time she received a message from a random number, hey, there's a surprise gift from someone, you can go and pick it up. And she of course knew that it was me, but it just reminded her that I'm still thinking of her. And there was like a very simple gifts, like just her favorite coffee or just a pair of socks, but it made such a great difference. So, and then when I came back to Amsterdam, I was thinking, why not make this process automated? Why not embrace people and give people a chance to gift from local stores across the globe? So Skip.
I
love it. Yeah, but Skipper, tell us more as well.
Yeah, so just to get the concept clear in mind, I always like to tell a story about it. So let's say I have a friend living in New York, and his name is Danny. And Danny just graduated, and I haven't seen Danny in a long time. What I can do, I can go to the Giftees website, and I can find a store near Danny's location, so where he lives, New York, Manhattan. So I find a store near his location and I order a gift. And what I can do on Giftees, I can either record a video message, a voice message, or write a message. And when I ordered the gift, he gets a notification on his phone like, hey, there's a gift for you around the corner. You can either pick it up at the store or you can get it delivered by bike. And that's when he gets this gift, of course. And also that's when he gets to see my video or listen to my video or see or read my text.
But
that's the
what's
concept.
Is that he doesn't know what's in the gift, right? The Giftees doesn't tell the person what's coming.
Yeah, so the only thing you get is you get a message with, hey, there's a gift for you around the corner, but there's no names are spoiled unless the gifter chooses to say their name. But it's of course it's more fun to keep it a surprise.
I love it. Can I say I love the concept of Giftees because especially nowadays everybody, I mean, most people do not live in the same place they were born at. I think probably less than 10% live in the same place they were born at. A lot of people were born somewhere and now they're living somewhere far away. And I'm currently not in Cape Town, South Africa. I am in Gabon, and it was my wife's birthday end of April. So the 30th of April was my wife's birthday. And because we don't have Giftees in South Africa, this is what I had to do. I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? The concept, there's a shop she really loves. It's called Paris in Cape Town. It's a French shop and she loves it, right? And since I'm French, I've taught her how to like the French things. And so I wanted to get her something from that shop, but they don't really do deliveries. So last time I delivered something to her, I had to call the owner of the shop and ask her, can you please did this extra delivery for me. And she was like, I know you guys come here quite often. I'll do it for you. But this time it was a birthday and I couldn't call the owner again. So I called a friend of my wife who had to drive all the way from her place to that place. And I had to send her the money. And then she had to return the money and then go to the shop and get it. And then go to another shop to get the flowers. I mean, it was such a lengthy process. And then she had to literally use a phone to picture all the flowers in the shop and ask me which one, what color, how many. I mean, it was complicated. Now, Gifty would have allowed me to do all of that on my phone and have all of that, have my wife actually walk into the store to pick it up without knowing what it would be, or have it delivered without having to call a friend and go through the whole story. And a lot of people live like me. You are in one place for work or for whatever reason. And so I think that's amazing. And you've identified a problem that is so current to the 21st century. Couples don't live together, families don't live together anymore. And we got to find a way to still say, I love you with more than words. And so that's what I love about the concept. And anyone listening to me right now, I hope you're going to be passionate about it and get in touch with these guys and say, listen, I want to open a franchise of Giftees in Cape Town, because I know they would be open to that. As long as there's character, chemistry, and competence, I'm sure they will be okay with that. So please don't be shy if you guys are watching us right now. Are you guys open to that, by the way?
Yeah,
let's
we are currently actually building our I would say next level software, so we can onboard stores easier, manage their orders easier, and all this functionality is just more automated. So we are stepping the next stepping stone, so we can expand not only in other cities in Netherlands but also in other countries.
And you do have a website, Giftees?
Yes.
So it's giftees.nl.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Do you mind if we quickly go to it right now? Since we're talking about it, can we just go check it out?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just open the browser here and take you guys to Giftees so you see what it looks like. It's such a brilliant concept by founders, Normund and Skipper. Giftees.nl. So guys, this is what it looks like.
And imagine it's not working.
And what's great is as we go through the Giftees website, Normund and Skipper are just gonna, I'm gonna be moving around, but they'll just show you how does it work. Because if you have a friend overseas right now, or just a family, and you want to do something special for them, you can actually do it right now. And so when we come to the website, guys, what we have is buy a gift, which is great. And then the other option is how does it work? And so tell me, guys, is there, so here on this calendar, we get to see all the shops that are partnered up with Giftees, right?
Yes. So just to give you some background information, we started really from scratch. We had a really, really wacky website. And just to give you some story time, we were really out there on the streets approaching stores like, hey, do you like this concept? Would you want to work together with us? And to be honest, we had the shittiest website there was. So there were almost no pictures. We didn't have any partners to show. So it was just, we had some luck, you have to get out there and get some luck and meet people, and you have to ask it for under. And then maybe 1 or 2 or 3 say yes, just because they like you or they like your story or your idea. So to inspire people to start, even if you don't have a good product to show, you can already start if you have a nice story to tell. But
exactly.
now we have almost 30 stores in Amsterdam, and we are also moving to Utrecht, and the first 3 stores now signed the contract.
Yeah, Utrecht is one of the largest, I think, student cities in the Netherlands as well. So it's a pretty exciting time for us, but not easy to do.
If it was easy, anyone would do it. Guys going into entrepreneurship and thinking of starting up, you got to know this. If it was easy, anybody would do it. And I think this is the process that you guys were talking about, Skipper. So you're saying, you go to, so you guys don't have an app yet. You got to do everything on the website, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So you go to, Giftees.nl, and then you choose You look at the stores that are nearby to your friend's location, so they don't have to go far. They can just literally walk to the store to pick up their gift. And who wouldn't want to be told there's a gift waiting for them, in the shop next door? And then they get to choose a gift. You get to record your voice message. You get to place your order. Giftees team will process your order. And in all of this, there's no intermediary. It's you. You just do all of this on a website, which is great. And then, the person receive a notification on their WhatsApp, and then they can go pick it up. Now, the pickup time, do they pick up at any time they're available, or is there a time that is given to them to pick up?
Yeah, so usually we give a week to pick it up, because it's human nature. If you give someone 2 weeks, they will come in 14 days. If you give 3 days, they will come in 3 days. So we need to do some quantifier.
I think he means, is there a time gap between giving the gift and that they are able to pick it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so normally we just give them a starting time. For example, if it's Tuesday today and we get an order at 6 o'clock, of course we know at 7 the store is closed. So we say your gift will be able to pick up tomorrow from 11 a.m. for 11 in the morning.
Yeah, so it's always next day or other date, which is wished by a gift giver.
Yeah.
So I love the concept, and this is the Instagram picture. It looks great. It looks like there's no problem with it. It looks like you guys have got it together. It looks like from the moment you guys got started, you knew what you wanted to do, and it just worked flawlessly. But we know that's not the truth. That is what we show on Instagram. So tell me, can you share with us some of your biggest challenges, maybe 2 or 3 of your biggest challenges when you started Giftees?
Maybe I can share one of my realizations lately. One of the hardest things as an entrepreneur, when you know a lot, is the correct sequencing. Correct order of execution is so crucial, because you might start working on a thing which is almost irrelevant, but you believe it's important. For example, when we just started, I was working in one animation video, just explain the concept for 6 weeks. And it was not so important because we were not even building a website, but I thought that it's important to show how the concept might look like, because we didn't have anything. That was like, okay, animation videos are good.
We are not using it right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So that's one of the greatest challenges. And I think fighting with yourself at the days when you think, does anyone actually needs the thing I'm building? Does anyone actually needs a service? Because without the big marketing and partially working features, for software program, for software business, sometimes just orders doesn't come in, and we don't know why. So we need to discover. But the hardest part is just to face yourself. There are some dips in a business, and if you don't do, and no one else will do.
Yeah, so the biggest, for me, the biggest struggle would definitely be, because I'm in sales, it would definitely be the chicken egg concept. Especially in the beginning, but still now, it's still the chicken or the egg. Yeah, so the stores, they want to see sales. So they want to have clients and they want to have orders. But the people on the website, they want to have a lot of choices, also a lot of stores on the map. So it was a little bit for me the chicken or the egg. But I'm very happy that it's starting to roll out in Utrecht now as well. And to be honest, we haven't paid much attention or any money spent on marketing. I don't think we should start with extensive marketing, because we are until now on, we are financing ourselves, this whole startup, investing every month small amounts. And I would say that micro marketing would be the best way to grow now. But this was really hard for me, this chicken or the egg, this store or orders. It is still a struggle.
And did you ever feel like giving up at some stage? To be truthful, did you at any stage? Were you always going strong? Yeah, I'm gonna make it. It's gonna work out. I got this. Or did you ever have a time where you felt like maybe this is not gonna work? And how did you overcome that?
Yeah, definitely have had. I think 2-3 times, and so we are running the business already 1.5 year, and I would say last half of the year was very very delayed because of the software thing. But regarding yeah, if there's no progress and you don't see the positive feedback of people for a long time, it's kind of a bucket with a hole. It leaks, you know. And what we had this a lady from which country it was? I think Saudi or Pakistan. Her sister was in Amsterdam, and she so desperately tried to do a gift, but she didn't have any online payment methods. So at the end, she actually didn't become a customer, and she didn't buy any gift, unfortunately. But the thing that she was trying really hard, and actually there was a pain, and knowing that there are two loving sisters, like in 2 points of the world, and then she somehow bumped into us, and yeah, when people say, yeah, I believe in your business, I really would like to use that service, it gives inspiration. But if you don't go out there, don't talk about your business, don't show, you don't get those words, and then the belief fades out.
That is so true. Well, that is so true. My goodness, I've been in that place so many times. And for you, Skipper, have you ever been at that place, that dark place?
Where you are less motivated, or you don't feel like working. And I would say last year, I was a little bit of a party animal. I was partying all the time and also working a lot. So yeah, just living my student life. I was 19 years, 20 years. So yeah, for me, it was, of course, I wanted to work as hard as possible in Giftees, but I also had to take that time for myself also to make money and maintain, because it's not like we are getting paid from Giftees. And that's still the case. So currently I'm working behind the bar in the night, Friday and Saturday night. So then I have to wake up for school and for Giftees again in the week. So it's it's hard working, and of course there are times you think, how long am I gonna maintain this? But as Norman's just said, sometimes you just get some recognition, or even this podcast is I'm thinking again, like, oh yeah, what how nice is it to see it from your eyes again, what we have. So yeah, this also motivates me.
I'll say this to you guys, and I'm not. I typically say that I don't do compliments. I like, if the sun is shining and you say to the sun it's shining, that's not a compliment. You're just stating the obvious. And so I guarantee you that I'm stating the obvious when I say this concept is absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It is so much needed. I think when I go onto your website, the only thing, especially when you guys get to developing an app, the only thing that is left to do is a budget of some form of funding, which I don't think you should struggle to get, honestly, with the concept. Some form of funding that allows you to do mass scale marketing.
Yes.
Because I read somewhere that a good product plus bad marketing equal failure. A bad product with great marketing equals success. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so
I really like that you say this, Erwan, because this is also for us the reason that we are not starting with marketing yet. So just to give you some background, the app Normand is talking about is a back-end app, and it automates the order flow. So the process of ordering, it automates it. And we had some bad orders in the past, and we just don't want to sell a bad product to a big audience. So currently we are working on that app, and it's finished in 1 week, and then we are ready to start micro marketing and take it slow. And what someone told me is that the best thing to do, at least if you can maintain it, is keep your breath as long as you can until an investor comes in, because you have such a higher leverage. A lot of times young startups that have started for maybe half a year, they decide to immediately go with the investor and give away way too much equity or way too much saying, and you're not owning your own company anymore.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. And I like that you guys have got a big vision. You're going in for the long term. You're not going to make quick money right now. You're going in for the long term. And for any person considering starting up, if you want to build something that's going to last long term, you got to be into it, first of all, to make your clients happy. You want to have an impact on your clients, anyone. And I love what Skipper and Norman are talking about. They say, the workflow of the process, somebody messed up, made an order, it didn't go through well, and they're working on refining that process so that the customers are fully happy, because they're kings. The customers are fully happy. They deliver an excellent service from the beginning to the end. And then when they've refined that process completely, then they will be able to think about the big bucks. But at the moment, they want to make sure they're delivering a product that is working really well. And you know what? What is his name? Eric Rice talks about lean startup, and he talks about reducing expenses by you don't wait for your products to be fully complete. You do a bit, and then you test it on the market, and then you get feedback, you correct, and then do a bit again. And you're constantly running a beta mode of your product or of your service and getting feedback until you get to the complete part, which is cheaper than building a whole thing. And then when you expose it to the market, there's so many problems. You got to go back to the beginning of rebuilding from scratch. And that costs you a lot of money. So I think you guys are on the right track of testing your product as you go and refining it. And I think that's going to be inspiring for the young entrepreneurs listening, because they going thinking, I need to have it all together. And you guys are saying, no, you don't. You guys are far more advanced than a normal, a small startup that is just starting. But even you guys are saying we still don't get it together. But you believe you're going to get to that stage where you'll be able to do massive. I tell you this, one day I want to invest in startups and get for equity. Obviously, as a school, we want to invest in startups. And if we were at that stage, I would have been in a position. I would have said, guys, I want to get equity into your business, because I know so many friends. I've got friends that were married 4 years. The wife the husband was in New York, and the wife was in South Africa, and they saw each other twice a year. Can you imagine how Giftees would have made their lives so much easier? I mean, it's just like weekly, I'm gonna get you something new. I can even get you breakfast every day. Imagine. Through the app. You can get me lunch every day. Through the app, we can feed each other. We can choose to eat together. You get your Giftees, I get my Giftees. And I mean, just that would have transformed their lives. And that's why I'm saying it's not a compliment. I've seen the need for it. And I'm experiencing it right now. I mean, in Gabon, my wife is in South Africa. And so I see the need for it.
That's what we really believe in, and that's what we stand for, that the gifting is made such a artificial thing nowadays, and people forget that the gesture really matters. And I gave my roommate a gift of a mango. I think it's a great stuff. So you can gift a very small thing, but have a great impact. And if you can do to your loved ones in a great distance, I think that's even better.
And
everyone, just to come back on what you just said, it's of course, it's a lot of times that startups are in their testing phase, and that is the time where you maybe can get into this dark place. But just remember that there's always a need, or always people to talk with about your product, and then it's all good. This testing phase can be very frustrating because you're not making too many sales, and it feels like you're slowing yourself down, and you want to move forward as a founder. But it's just keep on going.
You're making such a good point, and I think what's setting you guys apart as well is, entrepreneurs fall into this gap, into this trap. It's a trap. I've got this brilliant idea, but I'm not going to talk about it to anybody. I'm going to keep it in my head. I'm going to refine it, work on it on paper, on my computer, but I'm not going to share with anyone because somebody's going to steal my idea. There's always such a fear of someone. I always say this, even in my book, Startup the Leadership Way. I said that's a lie. Listen, I can decide to run away with Giftees as a concept, but listen, if I don't have a passion, the vision that you guys have for it, because it's so hard to make it happen when you get to the process of actually doing it, I'm going to give up. I'm going to give up because I don't have what it takes to make it happen. So the idea seems easy when you're talking about it, but when you get into the making it, it's such a bold game that it's not for everybody to make it happen. And I'm telling you, all the young entrepreneurs listening to us right now and saying, somebody's going to steal my idea. No, what they did is that despite the fact that there are no clients, they were bold enough to talk about it. They were bold enough to go to people and talk about what they're doing. Did they get a few no's? I'm sure they get a few no's, and maybe a few laughters, and maybe a few, well, you got nothing to show, but they still went for it. And you build the muscle and the resilience as you go through it. You cannot build a business in your head. You got to get into the ground. You got to, Richard Branson says, screw it, just do it. You got to do it.
I love the fake it till you make it as well. It's my mantra.
You got to push.
Me?
But I'm going to ask this, this is a statement, and we almost finished with it. We got 2 more questions, but this is a statement that we often make at our Entrepreneleaders School, and we often say this. We want you to start early and fail forward even earlier. Okay, I always say this to students: start early and fail forward even earlier. And what do I, people think I got to be in my 30s when I'm a bit more mature, when I've got a bit more money, when I said, no. Listen, start earlier and fail early because it's important. And so you guys listening to us right now, and we'll go into why it's important. But I want to hear your thoughts on that. Bear in mind that Skipper is 21.
21.
21.
Yes.
And so he's just finished his teenage years. For anybody listening, he basically just entered the 20s. And then you got someone in the mid-20s. You got Normund, 26, 27.
In 4 days, 27.
There you go. Oh my goodness, we need to get you a gifty birthday.
Yeah.
But you guys have young people that are in the 20s. Someone who's just starting the 20s and someone who's in the mid-20s right now. What do you think? What do you think of the statement? Start early. Now start early, fail earlier. Okay, what do you guys think of that?
I think that's the way to go, definitely, because I'm just looking back on my own life, and I have so many great stories to tell just because I tried so many things, and I purely believe that between 20 and 30, it's not a go safe route or just go as with a plan. It's just try many things, fail as fast as possible, do many things, because then first of all you learn way more. Then also you can validate whether your knowledge is actually useful or not, and as well you build network. The network is such a big thing in life. It's crazy how impactful it is. And if you start accumulating your network, the right people in your early 20s, at around 25, 28, you will have a massive network you can build great businesses on.
Sure, I love that. Network, yes.
Yeah, I would also definitely compare it to my own life. I mean, I started working at a restaurant across my house when I was 14 as a dishwasher. And sometimes I had birthdays or weddings, and I was dishwashing until 3 in the night. And I was failing because I after 8 or 7 months, I was thinking, I'd never want to do this again. I want to work for bonuses. I don't want to do hourly rate. I think we got 3 euros or 4 euros an hour when I was 14. So I was making 90 euros a month. And I said, like, I want to do something else. But I would say I was a very introvert person. And one friend of me, he had a sales job. So he was selling newspaper subscriptions. And together with him, I decided to do it, to step out of my comfort zone. And I became very interested into sales, and I met a lot of interesting people, and made good friends, and also really stepped out of my comfort zone of being an introvert person. And so that really helped me, and that also helped me in making the decision to go, for example, to Team Academy or to do sales. So I would say, starting young and finding out what you like and what you don't like is very important. And even if you are a person that normally doesn't like to approach people or talk to people, then you can still become one, or at least try to become one.
I love it. I love all of it. I love the starting early in your case when you were 14 years old. I like the concept of failing a lot and failing early. You know what? I'm about to meet up with the head of one of the biggest incubation center in the whole country, and I'm having a meeting with him tomorrow. And when everybody speaks so highly of him, and then I went onto LinkedIn just to find out, because if I'm meeting with someone, I want to know who they are. I went onto his LinkedIn and just found out his experience, and he's got 15 years of experience working in entrepreneurship and startup and incubation. But the guy is only maybe like 36 years old, and I figured, how does he have so much experience? He's only 36 years old. He started early. He started very early. And I guarantee you, if you start failing at business at 16 years old, imagine the level of experience and wisdom that you'll have at 28 and you're still young. Just imagine the level of wisdom and experience that you have at 28. Most CEOs have about 10 years of experience. If you start with your business and bankrupt at 18, by the age of 28, you basically have 10 years of experience running your own business and failing at it. And I guarantee you, once you reach the bottom, the only way out is up. That's the great thing about reaching the bottom. And I encourage, I release a podcast about this. I encourage people to fail, but fail forward. And what that means is, if you fail and you're not realizing the reason why you failed, you can't learn from it, and therefore you can't move forward. But failing forward means I'm failing, and I'm doing an introspection as to, why did I, Skipper, fail? Why did I, Normund, fail? I mean, you bankrupted back in the days, and I'm sure you ask yourself the hard questions, and you are a lot more cautious and wiser with Giftees than you were with the food truck back in the days. Why? Because you ask yourself the questions, why did I fail? Was it poor management of my time, my resources? As long as you're learning from your failures, you can only move forward. That's what failing forward is all about. And I'm going to finish with this last question that I have for you guys. This is the most important question. Okay, so we got 5 minutes to wrap this up. Most important question. You guys ready for it?
Ready.
You can take a guess, but this is the question everybody's going to ask. Look at them. They're a bunch of Europeans, they have it all. It's so easy to just start a business. They're saying it's hard, but they don't know what we're living in Africa. They'll say they have the money. And I really want to talk about money specifically. This is the last question. We learned today that this stereotype about Europeans are not always true. The struggle is in a different place, but the struggle is real for all of us. What was your strategy? And you haven't had any funding and all of that. When you had the idea, I want you to break it down. How did you get the money to get started? Okay. Or did you just get started with that money, and then, what role did money play, and how did you get money for your business?
Yeah, so maybe Normund can start.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important that you understand what your core business is. And if you understand your core business, then you understand what skills you will need to build the business.
Yeah.
For example, if you're a carpenter by skills, then you can open, some sort of furnituring business. And then you don't need hire people to build your furniture. And I would say I'm very handy of learning software. I'm handy of learning how things work and put together in a digital world. And we started with the MVP, with the most possible smallest version of our business, which at the beginning was just a video.
Maybe explain that a bit.
Yeah, so the MVP is a minimum viable product. So something which reflects your value given to customers. One of even a video of how the business works is an MVP. I'm not sure whether I can find it, but we have like a A4 pamphlet. We went to stores and showed that. That was our MVP for business. We said, okay, this is how we will make money together. Yes,
yeah, it's the best first version of your end product. Let's describe it like that.
So,
I love
and then understanding your skills and your core business, you need to understand at what level you can keep up with that. And regarding, as long as you can keep breath and not ask money outside, as more independent you are, and that's something great, and that's something you want for quite some time. And when it comes time for raising funds, it's just showing that you have capabilities and you have some sort of attraction. And this traction doesn't mean that you need to have sales. For example, if you have a letter of intention from maybe a business who would like to use your service or multiple services. So it's all about spreading the the word and collecting that information. If you can present to investor and convince that we can make money together, then money always comes.
Yeah, and also show to the investor like, hey, we can also continue on this without you, man. We are rolling with or without you. We are going and we are failing forward.
Yeah.
And yeah, just to come back on your question, because I would say Normund hasn't told what he was working, what his job was when we were at the startup for the past year.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe Norm, you can tell also about that.
My job.
Because the question was, yeah, because his question was, how did you maintain yourself? And you were working for Flink, of course.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that part. So yeah, I was full-time student and I was working as well 24 hours per week. So which is like 60% of full-time shift, full-time job. Yeah, at the delivery order delivery company, just bicycling all day. A lot of time. And
days.
yeah, and I put money aside to invest in the business, and on average we spent 300 euros, I think 200 euros every month. It went to the business. So I didn't go to the club. I didn't buy new shoes. I spent for the business.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you said that you should do something that you're good at and that you can also apply to the business. So that's why I wanted to tell you. The first year of doing business with Normans, I was working still as a salesman, but then for charities.
Yeah.
So I had the feeling I was doing something good for the charities, but also making money on that and expertising my sales. So yeah, as Norman said, I think it's very important to maybe use your talent and use something you are good in and want to do in your business to also make money on the side. I mean, there are so many options these days to work on Fiverr, for example, or Upwork, and to just learn some hard skills or learn some copywriting, whatever, you name it. So yeah, I would definitely give that advice because that was the reason why we could maintain ourselves and also invest into Giftees.
So let me ask this quickly. So who built the website? Did you guys hire somebody to build the website, or did you learn the skills to build this beautiful website?
So yeah, we built it ourselves. So it's actually, there are multiple levels of complexity of web apps or websites, and this is our second version. We built one on different builder. It was not good enough, so we moved to another. And just the small tiny things which were not possible to be done by us, we asked for developer to build. So.
And guys, we got 1 minute left into this webinar, but this is the key thing I want to mention here. They did something incredible that a lot of people starting up nowadays, especially Gen Zs that are listening to us right now, who want to get quick success. Okay, so they did one thing. They went as far as they could with what they had. Okay, they went as far as they could with what they had without asking for help or looking for money. The first thing they thought of wasn't money. The first thing they thought, what are the skills and the tools that we have to make happen, to take this thing as far as we can with what we have. Number two is that the skills that were needed to make it happen, if they didn't have it, Norman mentioned it, they would learn the skills to make it happen, to cut down as much as you can. Because if the idea comes to you, more than likely, you've got what it takes to get it started. I guarantee you that. It comes to you and not to someone else because there's something in you that is more than enough to get it started. And so if they didn't have the skills, they hired the skills. And they work well together because you got someone who's got experience in sales and someone who's passionate about digital and putting things together in a digital world. And so he could work on a website while the other one could convince people to buy. And lastly, guys, more importantly, they were willing to sacrifice. So one of them was working 24 hours a week, not buying sneakers, not going out, not doing any of that. So they could almost finish, just so they could afford to do what they needed to do. And that's why I want to leave you guys with. They could do these three things: sacrifice, go as far as they could, and learn the skills that they needed. And now they're in a place where they can be attracted to an investor. And Norman has to leave us because he got to jump into a different meeting. So we're going to close this with Skipper. Norman, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we can't wait to show this to the students.
Yes, such a great pleasure to be here with you guys, seeing you, everyone, once again. Yeah, I sincerely need to run. I'm a bit late, but that's how the business is. You know, like you just squeeze your time in, yeah, in a work, and so I hope that you could learn, the audience, everyone who is watching could learn something from us, and yeah, that the sky's the limit until you, as far as you believe.
Thank you so much, Norman, for your time. Appreciate, buddy.
Yeah. Then, guys, please enjoy the further conversation, and be blessed.
Bye, Norm.
Bye bye.
And so we're gonna just conclude with Skipper, and but Skipper, can I just say, guys, you've shared so much insight. You don't even realize it, but so much insight to people considering starting up and people that are starting up and grappling with an idea at the moment, and especially the concept of money. And I love that. I love the concept of money and the fact that you start with what you have, you sacrifice. So let me ask you this: you said you were a bit of a monster party. Did you have to cut down on that to save up some money as well, or did you just keep on pushing with parties?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it was not a hard decision to make. Of course, I wanted to be with my friends, and they were all into partying. And this is something you talked about earlier. When we are not surrounding yourself with people that are also like-minded and they want to grow and they want to learn, then yeah, the chance is so big that you will just keep on being with your friends and continue to go party or go to whatever, hang out or chill. So yeah, that's definitely an amazing advice that you gave to your students to, yes, maybe step into a new circle, step into a circle with like-minded people that also want to be an entrepreneur. And maybe you meet a new friend or someone that you can also combine it. I mean, I take Normand on King's Day as well, or when his birthday is, I will also take my friends with me, to Normand's birthday, and yeah, it will all make sense. So don't be afraid to step into new circles of people and meet new people.
And we're going to conclude with this thought for you, Norm. For you and Norman, how far are you guys wanting to take Giftees? Like, what is the perfect picture of Giftees? Like when you guys say we've arrived, what does that look like?
Yeah, I have to tell you, I think a lot about this, of course. What is the end product? Where do we want to be? When will I sell it? Yeah, I would love to build Giftees as long as I can maintain and like doing it and love doing it and feel like I'm at the right place. So yeah, I would love to see Giftees, of course, international before I leave, and yeah, maybe available in every country in the world. That would be amazing for me.
Wow, look at that. That's boldness and ambition. And any last thought or advice to just all the entrepreneurs watching us right now, or just anybody who happened to bump onto the webinar? Any last thought? And as you're talking, I'm showing the Giftees page once again. But yeah.
Yeah, we talked a lot about it, of course. Every single entrepreneur has a different background and has a different backpack of emotions and thoughts and events that happened in their life. But yeah, just remember that you are not alone. There are always people that are interested to help you out or to work together with you. And yeah, keep going. As Norman said, the sky's the limit.
I love that. And for anyone, any entrepreneurs listening to us right now, I wanna leave you with this thought of that we already shared earlier. Remember when you start and you face these challenges of where do I get the money? You don't have the money, and you don't have to have the money to get started. I like the fact that their MVP product that they presented to people was a map, was something they had drawn, nicely drawn, I'm sure, nicely structured, but that doesn't cost money to get started with that. And they had the boldness and the courage. In fact, one of our
example, this video that you're showing now, that guy who is sitting there is one of my good friends, so that's free. And also the cameraman is a good friend of mine. So it's all just connections and daring to ask. Always people that want to help you out if you have a cool idea and you have energy to bring.
I love that. You don't have to have it all. You got to start with what you have, like you guys did. And you had the courage, in our session on leadership, in our expedition module called leadership. One of the courses all about courage, and how with that courage, you can't do anything, you can't move forward. And you guys have to have the courage to go to talk to people with a piece of paper and convince them to pledge towards your idea. And
Yes.
that's what it takes. It's not going to be easy, but it's possible. So for you young entrepreneurs listening right now, I'm hoping that you guys are living with the thought that I may not have everything that it takes to get started, but what do I have right now that can take me to the next level? Is it the buddy that I can start talking to? Is it the drawing it on a piece of paper? Is it learning how to do a video editing so I can display how the concept is going to work? And there's a lot of free tools online to do a 3D image without enough expertise. There's so many ways to get started. Having said that, thank you so much, buddy. Thank you so much, Skipper. It's been an honor. It's been a privilege to have you with us. And I just can't wait for this video to reach the student. And I'm hoping that some of the guys listening right now will go onto the Giftees page eventually to to order something, right?
Yeah, that would be amazing. And yeah, I also want to really thank you, Erwan, for inviting me to this. Also from Normund. Yeah, it has been an amazing experience.